Hello, and this is Enstarz. Today we're going to do a reaction to the K-drama, one of my favorite K-dramas, Extraordinary You. So, first of all, what do you guys know about K-dramas?
Nothing.
Very little.
Whatever I've seen over your shoulder when you're watching them.
That and like K-pop loosely associated in my head and what I've seen of other soap operas in languages that I don't understand.
Lots of kids in high school blazers, like, having issues.
Yeah.
With really good hair.
All of it reminds me a little bit of the live action or on High School Host Club.
That makes sense. Or, like, which is a J-drama. Or, I think it's either that or it's Squid Game. I feel like that's everyone's kind of frame of reference.
Squid Game.
I always
How
forget
messed
about
up
Squid
is this high
Game.
school?
Squid Game counts as a K-drama. It's just a very different kind of K-drama. The way I think about Squid Game is the same way that I think about Psy and Gangnam Style, where it's Gangnam Style made it big in America, even though I don't find it particularly representative of, like, K-pop.
Gangnam Style was so weird.
Yeah, and then Squid Game is, like, became super popular, but I also don't think it's particularly representative of K-dramas. Meanwhile, Extraordinary You is a little bit more closer to representing K-dramas, I think.
Now, is it you, like, university, or is it you, like, YOU?
You, because the show
Okay.
is about a group of characters who find out that they are in a manga or a comic book, and some of the people who are very, very side characters are referred to as extras. And so because there's one extra who has the power to kind of start changing things in the book, and that's why he's extraordinary, you.
I'm going to
Extraordinary.
love this.
Yeah.
My prediction is now.
I have no frame of reference for
It
any
also
of this.
has one of my favorite K-drama actors in it, who is Rowoon from a K-pop band called SF9.
Oh, you talked much about Rowoon.
Yeah, we have also written about it on Enstarz.
Yes.
If you ever want to watch our stars on the... I think there's a spotlight that I wrote about him a few months ago. So, back when his other K-drama, The King's Affection, was out.
And when we were writers.
And we were writers.
And we were writers.
But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to take them into the next room, and we're going to watch a few episodes, and we'll come back and we'll share our thoughts. We just came back from watching the first episode of Extraordinary You. How did you guys feel?
Mel, let's take this one.
I thought this was so fun. I loved it. I love self-aware and meta stuff. If you watched our show, Please Help, you know that. We get meta as heck. It kind of reminded me of, I mentioned Oran High School Host Club before just because it's kind of like the only
aesthetic, I feel like.
generic thing I've seen, but like it actually is very similar even in like the kind of like we're aware that we're very tropey right now. I'm aware that this is a trope thing to do and that I'm defying the trope by doing this.
Yeah, I think it's because like a lot of dramas or romantic dramas are based on manga, and since the characters are characters in the manga, the tropes are the same.
Exactly. So it was fun. It was like really familiar.
It was a
Also-
cool idea.
Also, you kept mentioning that one thing, Rosen.
Oh my god, yes, thank you. It was very Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, which if you're in theater or English, you've definitely studied, or even I think some philosophy students study it, because it's a play about the characters Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are two minor characters who are kind of mostly just plot devices in the Shakespeare play Hamlet. And the play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead is about what they are doing between scenes when they're not being used, and it's kind of just this play about how nothing is happening to them, and they used it in our English class to kind of teach about a lot of different kind of like defying of plot devices, to teach about like the way play scripts are written. This was like an AP English class in 12th grade.
Oh.
But also they used it to teach about existentialism and nihilism, and in the same unit we watched an episode of Seinfeld.
What?
Because
We
it's
live in a
also
society.
a show where nothing happens.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this show for poor Dana O,
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call her Dana. No, Dan O, she is kind of stuck in the same situation where, like, no matter what, she knows what's going to happen to her and nothing's happening to her, and, like, she's trying
And
to
also
figure
because
out...
she's not the main person. Spoilers.
Exactly. How much wiggle room she has in this space where, like, the story's not even about her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like her entire life's purpose is to help 2 other people fall in love, which really sucks.
Because also, like, it's very much like a story for, like, a writer's story or a story for writers. Because, like, when you're a writer, your main characters, you know everything that happens to them between scenes. So, ostensibly, like, they have clear memories of their lives because you do.
Yeah.
You don't do the same kind of construction for your side characters. It's just kind of like, oh, and your personality's like this, and this side character's personality's like this, so you're going to end up together, and it's probably going to be a pain, but you'll work it out.
She's like a useful NPC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a story that focuses on the NPCs, I guess, in
Yeah,
a way.
it's kind of like
fun.
Free Guy a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
whenever I tell
I
people
still
about
haven't
this
watched it.
concept,
I
they
haven't
always
seen it
mention
either.
Free Guy, and I haven't seen it either.
It reminds me of Free Guy and that Will Ferrell movie that
Stranger than
Stranger Than
Yeah,
Fiction,
people
It's
keep
what
telling
you
me to
call it.
watch that.
where it's like a guy who's literally being controlled by a book author.
Because I've always said I like Will Ferrell in Elf, but in nothing else, and people are like, you should
Really?
watch Stranger Than Fiction, you'd like that.
I can get
Yeah,
some
I've never
Will
liked him
Ferrell
in
movies.
anything but Elf.
Oh, you never saw Blades of Glory?
No.
Oh, it's hysterical. Watch
No,
Blades of
I've
Glory.
seen the first couple scenes of Blades of
movie's
Glory, and I
brilliant.
was like, "What the hell is this?" And I turned
I
it
love
off. But
that
I was in
stupid
high school.
movie.
Maybe I've gained more of an appreciation for the stupid.
Oh yeah.
I think also, like, I think another part of it that's more relatable, not just to English majors, is I feel like some people feel sometimes like they're the side characters in a main character's life. And that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, there was this part where Dan O was going like, "I don't understand. It's terrible and really outdated for a main character to be getting sick this often." And I'm like, "That's me." Every time I get sick, and I'm like, "This is ridiculous. How am I supposed to get anything done? Are you just trying to sideline me? What's happening?"
Yeah, I was like, if you, because I've had, this might be, like, I don't know, slightly off topic, but, like, I actually had, like, a really close friend of mine, like, talk to me about that before, where she felt like, because I would often come up with, like, ideas to do certain projects and stuff like that, and I think for her, she was like, you know, she was like, I enjoy working with you so much, I love working on all these things, that the ideas are great, but, like, a lot of times it's really hard for me not to feel like I'm, like, just a side character on your main character journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, kind of an interesting discussion, and I feel like that kind of reminded me of that as well.
I feel like in life, a lot of times we end up in groups like that. And, like, I think there are different points in your life where you're supposed to be a side character. And
Well, you have to
different
support
points.
other people.
Exactly, because if you were the main character all the time, also, it would be exhausting.
Exhausting,
Like,
a lot of pressure.
yeah, like, look at Katniss Everdeen. Like, she fell apart. It's just not always good. So, like, I feel like if you're the side character too long, it starts to feel like that.
Like, nothing fun is happening to you, or
And
nothing
so-
is happening for you.
It's weird. It's like your friend sensed that she had been the side character for too long, so she was like, "There's nothing wrong with the situation I'm in technically right now, but
Like,
I
I enjoy
sense
it.
that I should be somewhere else doing something."
I need
else.
my own project.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you were already in your main character stride, and therefore it was not your responsibility to, like, shift takes and let her be in charge. Life is funny.
I will say I like the way the show was shot.
It's very pretty.
It's the
Yeah.
that
Gorgeous
one.
looking.
There's one shot that I like that they didn't do a lot of, where she realizes she's not the main character and she's drags
Yeah.
backwards. A little ghost emoji pops out of her head, and they spotlight cartoonishly the 2 main characters.
It was
That
so
happens a lot
fun.
more in the next episode.
And
It
I
was
like.
so well done.
I was like waiting for like a giant like sweat tear to like be on the
Yeah.
top of her head at one
I love
point.
those.
That
You
happens
know?
a lot more in the next episode, because that next episode
'Cause
she's
it
kind
gets
of
more,
wrestling
yeah.
with the idea that she's not the one in the spotlight all the time.
Fantastic.
That's
So would
funny.
highly recommend watching more if that's really your speed.
Oh, we're gonna watch this at
I just want to watch her fiance get punched a few more times.
Yeah.
I hate Big Kim. I'm sorry. I know he goes through a whole redemption arc, but even when I watched the whole thing the first time, I never forgave him
He's
for
just
how
a-
mean he is.
He's
Abusive-
being a
he's an
dick
abusive
for
prick.
no reason. Just being mean with no motivation will not win you points with me.
Yeah.
I don't like that you're sick all the time. Grow up. Are you fine?
Grow up! I've got a heart murmur, you fuck.
I mean,
See?
but it's like super
You get
weird,
more
though.
attention than me, and that's your fault.
More attention! Every time he walks in a room, it's like a bunch of girls going.
And then he literally throws a tantrum, and he's like, "Why don't you like me like you used to?"
Yeah, he broke her heart monitor. Watch, what a prick.
Like, I showed an extra scene from further on in the show. But yeah, I mean, it's weird though, because like, I feel like Hana Yori Dango or Boys Over Flowers, there's also starts with a mean character at first, who's but he's the main guy in this
Yeah.
one. And, like, he goes through a redemption arc, and you forgive him. But I just never forgave Baekhyun. I just, something about it was just not redeemable in my eyes.
I mean, if the redemption arc doesn't do the redeeming, then it's not a true redeeming redemption arc.
Yeah, but I could feel like they're trying to get me to like him. I was like, I'm sorry, I
And
don't
is
like
the
him.
dried squid fairy?
Mhm.
Is he supposed to be
love him.
Is he supposed to be magical, or is
He's
he
the-
like an actual student? I was very confused.
He's like the cook.
He
Like,
gives me Puck vibes.
he
Like,
is.
so
Kinda
he's
like
just like the magical through line.
Yeah, he's the one character who knows everything that's going on.
Midsummer
Okay,
Night's
and
Dream.
that explains the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Every author writes in that one talk to the fourth wall
He's like,
character.
hello,
Yeah.
I know we're all in the book, and also I know why we're here, and stuff like
I wrote
that.
a whole novel where literally the main character is talking to an audience in his head.
That's funny.
Or you're not sure if he's in his head because he's having a nervous breakdown
He's
at the
one
time.
of those, how would you call it, unreliable narrators.
Oh, he
Yeah.
totally is, because you get everything from his perspective, and he's a lunatic.
Yeah, and like the problem with Extraordinary You is that you don't really get the main guy. Like his name is eventually Haru or Number 13, whichever one you want to use. Like you don't really get him in the first couple episodes because he's just shown constantly backlit by bright sun. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's got some burnt
he's like
retinas.
he's a reverse vampire or some shit. He's just hiding in the sunlight. God forbid night should ever touch him. It's like, I'm gonna make an Oron reference again. He's the opposite of Nekozawa senpai. He has to be in the sun
There goes
all the
Adam
time.
He's powered by Earth's yellow sun.
Yeah. We have to make Adam watch Oron next.
Oh, no.
That's yes.
I'm gonna make you guys watch some messed up shit.
But yeah,
Don't
and,
threaten me with a good time, buddy.
But what I like about this show is that it really gets into sometimes like this is one of the I think one of the reasons why this became one of my favorite K-dramas in recent years is because it sometimes go places that you don't expect, and I'm like, oh, we're this kind of show. Like,
Yeah.
want spoilers, and like a few episodes later, you find out that there's different. Of course, there are different rules to this universe, and if you die while you're on stage or in a comic panel, then I think it means that you
Your
die
death is
forever. If that
real.
makes sense.
Oh, so if,
That
it's, if, it
character
didn't,
dies
if it didn't happen on camera, it didn't happen.
And if you die in between like panels, then your memory completely resets.
Because that wouldn't make sense to the audience. It'd be like, oh, you didn't kill this character on the panel, so it's not real to us.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
one of the things that makes
So
Baekhyun
rules.
super unredeemable in my eyes is at one point he contemplates killing her off screen because he becomes self-aware too, so that like
This is the fiance.
so
Okay.
that she will forget the number 13.
Dude,
If that
what
makes
the
sense,
hell
so,
is
like-
wrong with this guy?
Like she's
Jesus.
like hooked up in the hospital, and he like contemplates taking out her oxygen so that she will pass, and then like off screen so that she will forget all her feelings for.
Good God.
Jesus.
And it's like
Show
I was
those
like when that was
places.
happening, I was like, no, like no, that's terrible.
You're gonna marry this guy, huh?
You're gonna rank your redemption arcs by how deserved they are and like how much they are earned.
At
From
least-
like Zuko
Yeah.
Yeah.
to what's the bottom? There's got to be
They can.
Zuko to Snape. Zuko, Severus Snape. We're gonna rank them in the middle.
Because even in Hana Dango, even though, or like Boys Through Flowers, like whether you call him Domyoji or what Gujinpyo in the Korean version, he never tries to kill her, so you're fine.
Not murder
It's
is
fine.
my not attempting my murder is my number one.
Low bar to clear.
Checkbox quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
in a
for
boy.
doing me a favor.
But yeah, so like I think there's a lot more for this show. If you guys want to continue reacting to different episodes of it, let me know. But
Heck yes.
I mean, I think the main character is charming. She was
Yeah,
kind of the
she
one.
was so cute.
She could-
Look, this isn't my kind of like show. It's not. I don't normally watch. Like,
Really?
No, I don't. Can't you tell? And but at
My
least
ass and
she's
call me Judy.
she's just a fun character.
I think
Like
it's
she
because
she
she
was the
owns
one
who she
reason I was
is.
having a good time watching it
yeah.
was because she literally was a walking cartoon.
Yeah, I think she also owns who she is, and
Yeah,
that's kind of
because all the boys are just complete bores. And they're just all like. They're haircuts. They're what I call haircut actors. They just
Many
sit
of them
there
had the
looking
same
like
haircut, and I was confused.
making a face, and they all kind of look like who farted. And, you know, just like, there's nothing to any of these
I will
dudes.
say that in the future, Lee Do-hwa, the guy, violinist guy, actually becomes one of my favorite characters, and he's like a much more of a character later. If that makes sense, because spoilers again. He finds out that he's the third leg of the love triangle later. If that makes sense, between the two main characters in this manga, and because of that, he has this whole existential crisis where he's like, "Wait, so I'm never going to get the girl?"
Yikes!
And so like he ends up
It gets better,
joining
kid,
the little
except
trio.
it doesn't, because you're gonna not live past high school because you're not real.
Yeah, so
Yikes.
he
So it doesn't get
he
better.
becomes very silly, and it's like really funny because
I
he's
love
just like,
it.
ah.
trying
See, things can't go well for me, so I choose chaos. It's the last
Exactly.
step. He chose nihilism.
Watching the world burn.
But yeah, so overall, good-ish time.
Should we? Oh, is it paddle time?
Paddle
I think it's
time.
paddle time.
That sounds like fun.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I give it a happy.
You would continue watching?
Heck yeah.
I would watch it just to see where like some of it goes. Did
You did you give it a happy?
I gave it a happy.
Oh, what is your what's the other
I
side?
got a
of the
happy
side?
and an angry.
Oh. Yeah, but I
Very
should
Adam.
think okay, never mind. I was
I
looking
only
at
have two
weird.
speeds, don't you know that?
Mine's all sad
Mine's
on
occasionally
this side.
crying. I thought it was fine. It was better than I thought it was gonna be because I don't really watch K-pop dramas, so
I think
K-dramas, whatever.
Yeah, I think for me it's like, it's tough to, I think now for me it's harder to watch K-dramas all the way through because the pacing is so much slower. Like, I watch a lot of J-dramas, and J-dramas usually are 10 episodes each, so
Now,
the pacing is inherently faster.
How
Like a
long is-
Netflix show.
How long is this show? Like
This
how many
show
seasons?
is 16-hour-long episodes, technically.
That's not terrible.
My brain heard 16-hour-long episodes, and I was like, no. My body was physically out the door.
1-hour-long episodes.
16 is a good number, I think.
Yeah. But 10, but that is still a lot shorter than 10:45 to an hour long. 45
And now,
minutes to an hour long.
was this based on an actual manga?
I think it's based on a webtoon.
Oh, fun. I love Webtoon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
Very
a lot
obsessed
of
with
like
Laura
the
Olympus.
K-dramas are also webtoons now, based off of webtoons now.
That's
So
cool.
yeah.
I heard they were making a Laura Olympus show.
What's Laura?
Laura Olympus is the webtoon that I read that's about Hades and Persephone and kind of like
Cute.
a modernized version of Olympus. It's very, very
Okay.
Is it
good.
an American one?
Yeah, it's made by an author named Rachel Smythe.
Cool. So maybe you
think
picked up
that's
by American
correct.
television?
I think so, but I haven't heard anything about it in a long time, and I know she's still writing the comic like in real time. I haven't really read it all summer. I've been trying to save it up so that I don't just get the little
binge.
bites.
Yeah.
So I can just spend all my coins at once.
Well, what this means is that if we do hear about this show, this being turned into a show, you'll hear it first here on Enstarz.
Oh, heck yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see here, please subscribe, and also please watch, please help.
Please.
If you would like to see our meta characters being meta characters.
We literally have an episode called The Metaverse
Metaverse
of
of
Madness.
Madness.
We do it, so it's not out yet. It's out, when's it out?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll see
So
you then.
see you then. Till then, bye-bye.